Welcome to the Michigan Football Report. May 30th is Wednesday afternoon. I am here bringing you 9 big-time Michigan football rumors. Then we're going to go through all 12 games of Michigan's regular season 2018 football schedule. I'm going to tell you which one is the easiest, which one's the toughest. I think we all know which one that is. I'll give you my percentage probability that Michigan's going to win the game, and love to hear from you guys' feedback on my predictions on those bad boys. Let's start off with the rumors. Rumor number 1, does Michigan have 6 of the best 11 defensive players in the Big Ten for 2018? Well, we're giving it to 2 Harbaugh heads, folks. People are talking on this one. So Athlon Sports, a long-time respected college football, the biggest one they have is a college football preview issue. They started going way previewing with these bad boys lately, giving all-conference and all-American teams 3, 4, 5, 6 months out before the season even starts. They came out with their 2018 all Big Ten conference teams. The first team, 6 of the 11 first-team defensive players, Michigan Wolverines, highlighted by, of course, Devin Bush, entering his junior year, really kind of thought of by everybody, last season in the Maize and Blue, going to go pro after this year if he's projected a first or second rounder. 3rd-team All-American in 2017, a top candidate for Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. Also on that 6 players in the first team. Rashawn Gary, another guy who was first team in 2017, probably most likely in 2018 as well. I think he is going for bigger honors like top pick in the NFL draft. Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year himself, certainly All-American from Rashawn Gary. Some other folks on there is really breaking down by line. You've got the defensive line with Rashawn Gary and Chase Winovich. You've got the linebackers with Hudson and Devin Bush Jr. Then you've got Michigan's 2 cornerbacks, likely the best 2 corners, cover corners in the country, in Lavert Hill and David Long. So Michigan is stacked on defense. There's a reason I am so high on the team this year now that Shea Patterson's eligible, is because I have never seen this kind of proven defensive talent. All, by the way, except for Chase Winovich, are underclassmen. All the 5 of the 6 guys, underclassmen players in Gary, Bush, Hill, Long, and of course Hudson. So this defense is going to be stacked. Michigan could set a record with 6 first-team All Big Ten defensive players, and if they have the kind of season a lot of us are hoping for, some predicting, I think you could see a mass exit of as many as 5 underclassmen from the 2018 defense leaving early for the NFL. All right, on to rumor number 2. Speaking of leaving for the NFL, are Michigan's cornerbacks Lavert Hill and David Long both leaning towards leaving for the NFL? I've got people are talking on this one, folks, but I keep hearing over and over the last few weeks, a lot of folks out there saying that no matter what, these guys think they've proved everything they can prove, and defensive coordinator Don Brown is really prepping them. He wants that badge of honor that he's putting in guys early into the NFL, which Michigan really hasn't done for a number of years on the defensive side. So if they have the kind of year, injury-free years for Lavert Hill and David Long, we saw Hill was a second-team All-Defensive Player in 2017 in the Big Ten. Also, David Long had some accolades, 3rd team and an honorable mention, but both these guys are getting a lot of preseason hype, both first-team Athlon All-American or first-team Athlon Big Ten players, and I think you are going to see the best cornerback play Michigan's seen maybe in their history from these 2 juniors. Both guys likely playing their last year in Ann Arbor. If these rumors are true, I'm giving it 2 Harbaugh heads for now, but keep an eye on this one throughout the summer, kind of what rumors we hear on Lavert Hill and David Long. On to rumor number 3. Speaking of David Long, is he the best cover cornerback in college football in over a decade? Well, I'm giving this one a 4 Harbaugh heads. It is FACK, Pro Football Focus, a respected analytics and statistically focused media company. They put out this graphic that we're going to show you here in just a moment on David Long, and it says basically that since 2007, they ranked every cornerback in college football. His 2017 season was the best against the pass of any cornerback since they've been ranking them, as I said, since the 2007 season. So that tweet from Pro Football Focus, we'll toss it up here. Take a look. 11.9 was the quarterback rating when he was thrown against in 2017. Former Ohio State great Gary Conley, previously the leader in that, with a 14.0 quarterback rating. So big time props from Pro Football Focus coming to David Long. Really, from many people's perspective, the 6th or the 7th best player on Michigan's entire defense. So to get him these kind of accolades, I think it shows the depth of these juniors and just the entire Michigan defense going going into 2018. Want to run you through the Harbaugh rumor meter. A lot of people ask me, what are those Harbaugh heads? The bottom of the screen, the side of the screen. If we give it 0 Harbaugh heads, that is totally false. Fake news. If it's 1 Harbaugh head, small shred of truth, but nothing to write home to mom about. 2 Harbaugh heads, 50-50. People are talking. We'll see how this one goes. Keep your eye on it. 3 Harbaugh heads, pretty likely. We've got some folks with sources on it. And if I give it the 4 Harbaugh heads, folks, that is FACK, fact. That is how Jim Harbaugh spells it. That is how we spell it here at Chat Sports. My name is James Yoder. I'm the king of Michigan football media. You know it. I know it. Want to thank everyone for watching the show. We are back and better than ever. Want to talk about our YouTube channel, folks. Chat Sports is crushing on YouTube. Go check out the Michigan football playlist on YouTube. But before we get into rumor number 4, want to ask you guys at home, we've been getting a lot of predictions on the scores of Michigan games over the past few shows. Michigan State. This is a Michigan State team that you think Michigan is a lot returning on offense and defense. Michigan State is the most returning of any team in the country. It's why they were so bad in 2016, came back with a vengeance in 2017. So in the comments right now, I'm going to get in there here in a few moments to give you my prediction for the game. I'm not going to give it to you verbally. I want to see what you guys come up with. Go ahead and comment. Facebook Live, YouTube. Let me know. Michigan heading on the road this year to East Lansing to take on a resurgent Spartan team that went 10-3. Was competing for the Big Ten. Big time year for them in 2017. Have a lot of pieces returning, almost the whole team in 2018. I think some people are undervaluing that game, that Michigan might get a win there, but it's going to be a big time one. All right, on to rumor number 4. This one I saw on Twitter. It's a guy we've called out for fake news in the past. His name is Ted Ringquist, saying that Michigan is not recruiting Bellevue High School players, where 5-star in-state offensive lineman Devontae Dobbs, the 2019 class, goes, I am calling this one fake news. He said Michigan doesn't recruit Bellevue players because they're not the right type of players. That has been debunked. Not only does Dobbs have an offer and has had one for months in Michigan, he is a teammate with an offer both in 2019 and a teammate in 2020. So this is a little bit of a guy trying to get some extra Twitter followers. Got probably more retweets and likes and comments on that tweet than he's got in a long time. I forget the rumor he had a while back, but it was something about Wilton Spate going to Virginia. Hey, if you scroll back through his Twitter timeline, we're going to show the tweet on there. It is the epitome of fake news. He's like the InfoWars for Michigan football. So Ted Ringquist is fake news. We're going to throw that tweet up here in just a moment. He says, I'm told that Harbaugh and his staff have chosen to avoid Bellevue High School. Michigan is a program that places a great deal of emphasis on doing things the right way, and for some reason tags MGoBlog like they care about your tweet. So Ted Ringquist, you are fake news, and we are going to let the people know of your fakeness. On to rumor number 5. Been hearing this one a little bit. James Hudson having a big spring, going into summer camp, having a big time summer training, I should say, into fall camp, which starts in August. Is he going to be the starting left tackle? Well, we're giving it 2 Harbaugh heads because I don't think is going to be starting tackle in game 1. I think he's only going to be a redshirt freshman this year. I think they'll start a more seasoned player, potentially Juwan Bushell-Beatty, but I am predicting at this point that by midseason, by game 5, by game 6, that James Hudson from Toledo, Ohio, shout out UT Rockets, will be Michigan's starting left tackle. So keep an eye out for this one. Ed Warinner is making a lot of things happen. We're going to talk about him just in a moment coming up, but 2 Harbaugh heads. James Hudson is one of my 2 or 3 players to keep an eye on this fall and in the summer. We're going to hear a lot over the next 9-10 weeks about how Michigan's doing in summer workouts. Chat Sports will have it to you coming exclusively. James Hudson, one of the guys to keep an eye on this fall. On to rumor number 6. Is Ed Warinner, does he have the offensive line way ahead of 2017? Folks, I'm giving this one a 3 Harbaugh heads. Got a really great source. I've been talking about the impact that Ed Warinner, former Ohio State offensive line coach, former Ohio State offensive coordinator, spent 1 year at Minnesota as their offensive line and running game coordinator. Harbaugh snatched him away, knowing that certain coaches were going to be leaving the program or he'd push them out. Ed Warinner is a big-time offensive line coach, folks, and from what I've heard is that the offensive line the last 3 or 4 practices of the 2018 spring practices were way ahead of where they left off just 4 or 5 months prior at the end of the 2017 season. Guys like James Hudson really developing, Cesar Ruiz, Chuck Filiaga, young players that are going to learn from Ed Warinner, get Michigan's offensive line back to where people really expect it to be year in and year out. So that brings me to a reaction poll. We're going to talk about these guys a lot over the summer. Michigan's got 2 sophomore wide receivers, although Tariq Black did ultimately get a red shirt, so he'll be a redshirt freshman in 2018. But which of Michigan's starting wide receivers will have more receiving yards in 2018? Is it Tariq Black, a guy who'll probably see more targets, more sure-handed, or is it the deep threat and a guy who'll likely get some of these bubble screens, some Shea Patterson and those RPOs? Will it be Donovan Peoples-Jones? Give us the thumbs up for Black, the heart for Peoples-Jones. I'm going Black this year, but I think come 2019, it's going to be Peoples-Jones once he kind of understands how to run the route trees going deep. I think Black is a little bit more developed at this point in his career than Donovan Peoples-Jones is. Peoples-Jones is just raw talent all over the field. So go ahead and get your votes in now. We will talk about that throughout the summer. Want to tell you guys about our sponsor today, Game Time, the best app for iPhone, for Android. If you're looking for last-minute sports or concert tickets or a little theater in there, Game Time is the way to go. Download the #1 rated app for iPhone or Android. You can wait to the last minute, get up to 60% off when you use Game Time. Go to chatsports.com/tickets. It'll route you right to whatever app store you use. Game Time is the way to go. It's the only way I watch sporting events in person. I might be going to a game coming up this week thanks to Game Time. So shout out them. Make sure you use them for all your ticketing needs. Chat Sports, as I said, crushing it on YouTube. If you want to see every episode of the Michigan Football Report, chatsports.com/YouTube Michigan. It will redirect you right to the channel on desktop. If you've got the YouTube app on your phone, pop that bad boy open, and you will be seeing everything the Michigan Football Report has going on. Go back to a few months, see what I called fake news, what I called an FACK. Call me out in the comments section. We are all about it. Rumor number 7, Jordan Lewis. Been in the news a lot lately. Last week we had 2 different segments on Jordan Lewis in the Michigan Football Rumors Roundup. Let's talk about what he said this week. Is Michigan a title contender, folks? Well, he said it, whether or not he's just giving, small talk. So we're only giving a 3 Harbaugh-head. He definitely said it, but does he believe it? I couldn't say yet. But he had a couple Michigan players, Ambry Thomas and Lavert Hill, down to Dallas a couple weekends ago. Got some playing time, got some practicing with him, and he knows the kind of talent Michigan is coming back. Guys who played under him in the 2016 season, 2015 season that are now upperclassmen. And he says Michigan is a legit national title contender. He's got them going undefeated in the regular season and then going to the playoffs. So we'll see what comes of this. Lavert Hill went down there and visited with him. Obviously what he saw to him and Ambry Thomas has Jordan Lewis saying Michigan, 3 Harbaugh heads, we're giving it national title contenders for 2018. All right, on to rumor number 8. Does a Big Ten head coach say that Michigan has the best defense in America? Well, this is a really interesting one. We're giving it 3 Harbaugh heads because this is an anonymous source that one of these preseason magazines, I believe it's Streets and Smith, put it out. They talked to coaches off the record, and what one coach said was, to paraphrase, all this pressure on Harbaugh is way too overblown. You're going to see them come back with a vengeance this year. He's got his players, he's got his system, and that defense, he said, they're definitely the best in our conference. You might see them, they'll likely be the best in the entire country. Take a look at these defensive rankings. This is with 10 starters returning, 10 new starters in 2017, only brought back 1 starter, Mike McCray, going into last season, still finished 3rd in the country in total defense, 1st in the country in pass defense, 18th in the country in run defense, and 13th in scoring defense. I predict all those, maybe not run defense, will be top 10 in 2018. This is going to be one of the all-time great Michigan defense. So a Big Ten head coach saying some nice things about Michigan. Because it's off the record, we're only giving it 3 Harbaugh heads for now, but that is some good praise from that coach. All right, on to the next rumor, baby. We have a big-time one. Is today the official start of Michigan football summer training with new strength and conditioning coach Ben Herbert? That is FACK, fact. This guy really kind of came onto the scene as just a meathead with energy and really got people riled up to play for Michigan this offseason. Got the players in the gym, a lot of gains, a lot of strength being shown. Today's the day. They're up at 6 a.m., 5 days a week going forward with him. Of course, these are optional practices. They aren't required, but sometimes practices and workouts are optional, but so is playing time. So this is one of the hype videos they ran. I'm just going to keep talking while this bad boy goes, because if you don't get hyped up to see this video and what Ben Herbert, Greg Madison, Jim Harbaugh have in store for you in 2018, I think you got to get your heart rate checked if you're a Michigan football fan.